Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend out there. Huh? If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be cool. If you don't, I appreciate you stopping by. And if you do want to subscribe here, why not do it twice and subscribe to the Tobin and Leroy Show, which you can watch weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the WQAM YouTube page. I would appreciate that, everybody. And everybody who's already been listening, I should thank you enough. I don't have to beg for the noobs either. You know, like the guys who have been around, all the people at the arena who are watching the reaction. Shout out to you guys, man. That really means a lot to me. That's a really cool thing to see, that everybody has been watching, tuning in, having fun, and hopefully there'll be a nice little bounce back coming up for your Miami Heat. I went down to the arena today, Heat practice, although I believe they just had a film session / like guys could do individual workouts. I don't think they had a formal practice. But a lot of guys touched on some things today, a lot of the guys who we haven't heard from. Kevin Love spoke today, and he spoke on his playing time, his role, where he's at right now, as he has not really been a factor in this series. That was one of the big whiffs on old Tobes. You know, I said coming into this series, which I said Heat in 6, which we're right on line for. All right, we just got to get a little streaky streak going. I said that I thought Kevin Love was going to be the best bench player in this series, and that has not been the case. In fact, he's really been negated to not being a factor in this series. Now, he has been dealing with I will give Kevin this. He's been dealing with an arm thing. I don't know how much of a factor that is. It's not his non-shooting hand, but you know, I can't imagine that's fun to be dealing with what Kevin Love's going through. And you know, you also know that the whole point of this is, you know, Kevin Love can give you some of the best 15 minutes of your life, and it's been pretty crazy. Actually, Sean Grande, who is the Boston Celtics play-by-play man on radio, and also, I don't know how many MMA fans, you guys know I love fighting, but Sean Grande used to be the voice of Bellator. So, you know, shout out to old Sean Grande. He had a tweet today about the Miami Heat's offensive and defensive rating with Bam Adebayo through 3 games of this series, and it has been this is their on court with Bam Adebayo on. They have been a 112.9, off 111.1. Defensively, 77.2 rating through 3 games, off the court 138.6. Whew. In the 115 minutes with Bam Adebayo, the Miami Heat have outscored the Celtics 245 to 240. Now, mind you, that's with 2 drubbings in there. It's been 2 games that are not close. In the minutes that Bam has not played, which has just been 29, they have been outscored 79 to 44. And that is a problem. Because what does Miami do in that situation, right? They have to deal with giving him some kind of rest, because again, this man is asked to do a lot. And I know people don't want to hear it. I still see the comments that he need a center, blah, blah, blah. You guys, he's asked to be the best defender. He's got to screen everybody open. He's got to run the offense, and he's got to go guard the best players on the floor. So I'm just telling you, these lack of Kevin Love minutes have been hurting, because Kevin Love was, I think we all watched him when he was at his best. He was doing some really, really great stuff. But as he'll tell you, he knows that there are some defensive shortcomings with him in this series.
Yeah, no, I think both. I think, you know, certainly on the offensive end, I know what I'm capable of, and I know I can take advantage of that. But, yeah, I think chasing those guys off the screens and switching, you know, hasn't always been, I guess, in my bag, as we would say. But no, I think you know, it could be effective in different scenarios. But again, they're a team that poses a lot of problems, and that's why they've been in some aspects and in some ways, you know, historically, you know, at the top of you know, offensive output. So I think yeah, it's something that, you know, we either have the conversation or it's unspoken. Like, I understand that. You know, this type of a scenario, not unlike last year, I played, I think, the first 3 And then we kind of inserted Haywood into the next 4 games and ended up winning the 7 games.
Will that change in game 4? I imagine the Miami Heat are not going to bench Kevin Love. He's not going to get a DNP coach's decision, although he's been pretty close in the last 2 games of this. But I will say, and we'll hear from Kevin Love in a little bit, that he echoed what was really the big theme out of the media sessions today with your Miami Heat, which were kind of echoing what the post-game feel of Game 3 was, which were the mental mistakes from Miami. And really feeling like they gave Boston this one. Like, they gave Boston an easy one, which they cannot afford to do. Even I, the most ardent Heat fan, realizes that Boston has a ton of firepower, a ton of weapons out there. You can't afford to have the mental lapses. You can't afford to not be the more physical team. You can't afford to give them the basketball. You can't afford to allow Peyton Pritchard to get 2 rebounds between people. You can't do it. And it's a credit to them. It's a credit to Boston. Like, they were able to make those plays. So, I'm not going to take it completely away from them. But if Miami's going to win this series, if they're going to do the unthinkable and win this series as shorthanded as they are, those lapses cannot happen. They cannot happen, and they cannot stand. But as you'll hear from a bunch of guys, that the Heat feel like they can give a much better effort and even this thing up just based on cleaning things up.
Yeah, I think I think the Celtics inserted their will. They did a lot of things that on the defensive end maybe made us uncomfortable. On the offensive end, we just didn't take advantage of our ball movement, some of our mismatches, some of the guys that we wanted to attack on that side of the ball. But I think we have a way better game plan for tomorrow. But so much of it was mental. It wasn't even the game plan. I thought we had a really great setup of our game plan. We just didn't execute on both sides of the ball, and a lot of that was just up here between the ears, just making sure that we execute that and let the chips fall. But I don't think that we played as hard as we typically do last night, and I think that just wasn't our identity. That wasn't who we are. So we can have a lot better effort tomorrow.
The big ones are just the kind of the effort, energy stuff. I thought I think we played with good effort in stretches. It wasn't so much about that, but more so just the execution in terms of second chance points, turnovers, stuff like that. So stuff that we thought we shored up from game 1 to 2, but obviously took a little bit of a step back. Credit to them too. They put us in spots, so we got to shore that up for game 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think effort as far as play, I think it was more so mentally. Our mental attention to detail, the mental toughness part of the game was definitely not there, and definitely not where I needed to be. A lot of mistakes, more so mentally, I think, than anything else. And then this time of the year, we can't have those mistakes. And when you do, nights like that happen, and it's going to be a lesson to be learned, and apply the film session and the detail to the next game.
Anything personally that you saw that you just think, I'm going to bring this forth better in game 4?
Yeah, I think for myself, I think I just need to bring the energy. I'm one of the younger guys on the team. I need to bring a different level of energy and physicality to the game to help inspire the team and do what I got to do to get guys going.
And I think the one thing that I wonder with this Miami team is, look, they haven't been very consistent this year. They are not a good offensive team, but they've also, every time you really seem to count them out, they somehow have a way to find and bounce you back with some of their best performances too. It's been a little bit lackluster this year more than last year with being able to beat like the elite competition. But they've already shown you in this series that they can do it. They've shown you in this series that they can do it. And I really do feel if they clean things up, they don't need an historic performance shooting to get it done. I don't think that's absolutely necessary for Miami. I think that they can get things that they feast on. And if they don't allow Boston to feast off their mistakes, then I think they could be in a great spot. Like, obviously you can't afford giving them 24 points off turnovers. Like, that's outrageous. Terrible. So The other thing that was that was pointed out to Duncan Robinson spoke to the media a little bit, didn't give too much insight into what's going on with his back, other than it's frustrating dealing with what he's dealing with, but he's available. Duncan's grinding through it, man. And I really do believe like all the injuries that they're dealing with, this may be the one that is affecting them the most, because Duncan Robinson was having an incredible year. We just don't have that guy, and he told you, I'm not going to be that guy without extended rest. So yeah, you're looking at a situation right now where Miami's going into this puppy. You got Jimmy Butler jinxing us on the sidelines. He's not coming back anytime soon. We have no idea on Terry Rozier. Spo gave you nothing on that today. You have, Duncan Robinson back, Kevin Love, 35 years old, and, can't run with the young guns in this one. And then on top of it, you have, DeLon Wright missed the game, the last game too. So, hey man, that is something. I should actually look. I don't know if the injury report came out. I think it did on DeLon Wright. Let's see. DeLon Wright probable to return for the Heat. So that's great news. He's been really good in this series. So that's fantastic that they will likely get him back in this one. But this is certainly one of those times where this is going to make or break whether or not Miami is going to make this a series. If this is going back to Boston and you're going to be playing for your season on Monday, or are you going to be, playing for a chance to close out on your home court? So absolutely huge. And as I made the point, man, like I really want to see Miami snap this losing streak at home in the playoffs. It has been very, very frustrating to see. 5 straight, and the fans, Nico said it. Jaime, who I got some one-on-one time with today, he echoed those sentiments.
It was your first playoff home game. I know you didn't get off to the greatest start, but the juice in the building and seeing the white hot for the first time. How much did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I appreciate all the fans for coming out. I know Nico said it, but, they deserved a better effort from, their team that they're rooting for. And we're going to bring that next game.
So with all that being said, with the Heat, needing to get this one at home and set themselves up to make this an actual series, because you go down 3-1, you're heading to the road. It's a tough ask. And you would have been like, hey, thanks for the moral victory. Appreciate you guys, because you go down 3-1. The idea of, Miami doing what they did last year, even extending to a game 7, seems like a big ask. So Monday night is going to determine, are the Miami Heat going to make this something long and make Boston sweat and continue to punch back and make you think, oh my God, they're going to be able to pull this off? I'm not ruling it out. I really just thought that I didn't feel like Miami was overwhelmed the last game. I felt that they played a crap. It was a crap performance by them, more so than a great performance by Boston. Like on Monday, Monday, game 1, all Boston. Boston overwhelmed them. Boston was amazing. Tip of the cap, right? Great back and forth in game 3, and Miami played an outstanding second half to close that puppy out. So much more closely contested. Game 3, I really just thought Miami yacked all over itself. And we see in these playoffs, and I think Eric Spoelstra put this best today, where he goes, this is what the playoffs is about. Who can deal with the mental, emotional letdowns? It's about keeping that sharp. And if you can do that, you could have a lot of success.
It's a matter of us collectively doing it. This is what the playoffs are about. You have so many different emotions. You have to be so mentally and emotionally and physically sharp, and deal with what's real, deal with what you need to do better, and then collectively go after it, the next time you have an opportunity. It was disappointing, last night, just like it was disappointing for Boston after game 2. We need to be much better, tomorrow. We're well aware of that. We have a bunch of competitors and high character guys in the locker room. We got to work today. We'll work again in the shoot around, and work to be better tomorrow night.
So looking forward to it. Miami Heat and Celtics back at it for game 4 on Monday. let's see if we can get those goosies flowing again once again for Heat Nation.